Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to this evening's racing, and a sunny day at that in the UK today as well. And we're going to have a sunny outing here at Catalunya. We're at the Catalunya National, and we have some fantastic racing with these Ford Legends up and coming for you as well. Look forward to bringing you all that action. Now, before we jump into what is going on out there on the circuit, then we do have a track length of 2.91 kilometers. Obviously, we're on the national course of the Catalunya track here in Spain, and temperature outside today is 37 degrees. It says 91% chance of rain, but I think you and me both know that that won't happen. Now, what we'll do is we will just switch over and show you how we are looking for lining up this evening in terms of the points. Now, looking at the points, this is the overall standing. So Kieran Sharp leads the way with 75, Isaac Dobe on 71, Lee Horn on 41, then we've got Jamie Dory on 39, Mikey Pollard on 36, and the leader of the AMS in P6 overall with 32 points, Nick Clivens. Then we've got Duncan Murray in at P7 with 30 points there, Andrew Pike with 29 points, Alan McCain just in behind that on 28. Then we've got Adam Locke, P10 overall, with 21 points there. A bit further down the grid, we have Alex Meredith with 18 points in P11. Then we've got Benjamin McCluskey, the last pro in this section, P12 overall with 14 points. Then we've got Craig Tillotson on 13, and Ben Altria just in behind that, followed by Josh Brown, Sam Smith, and our man Costa there, Daniel Fritz, Mark Kent, and Jake Pitt. And the last few positions here, then we've got James in P21, Kevin in P22, Lewis Mason P23, Ian Manners P24, and Matthew Cheverton in P25, and Alexander Parkin, unfortunately the only minus runner on P26 there. Now, the pros are in the overall section, and the AMs are separated up, and to show you the AMs, here they're in their separate championship standings, and the pros, to score points, they need to obviously finish above the AMs, and Nick Clivens does lead the way with 72, Adam Locke P2 with 67, and we've got Josh Brown P3 with 55, then Ben Altria P4 with 50, Craig Tillotson 44 points in P5, and then we have Costa in P6 with 29, Sam Smith P7 26, Daniel Fritz then in P8, Mark Kent P9, Alexander Parkin P10, and going a bit further down the grid, Jake Pitt P11, and James there in P12. I will get that surname right at some point, but it's not happening tonight. The mouth won't work. Kevin Smith P13 and Lewis Mason P14. So those are your points from the last round out. Now, obviously, last round was some fantastic racing, and we have much more fantastic racing yet to come as well, as we jump towards what is going on out there on track this evening. Plenty of cars taking part today as well. A few newcomers out there joining us here this evening. There we go, 777 of Adam Delmont on your screen at the moment. Now, these guys are obviously in their qualifying session, so 15 minutes to get in those lap times and get to those positions that they need to be in. So don't forget, we do have a safety car, manual safety car with us as well. So that will be coming out at certain points this evening. Hopefully we don't need to call on the old safety car, but that is there if need be. just wait for these times to start rolling in before we can look at how close this grid will be then going into this race, and no doubt it will be quite bunched up together, just like it is most weeks out with the Ford Legends as well. It's always a lovely outing with these cars, and it's always great to sit here and commentate over as well as spectate for everyone at home as well watching live with us. Obviously, if you are watching live and looking forward to this evening's racing, do let us know. Jump on into the old chats of each of the broadcasts. And don't forget to drop likes on the stream, so share them out, and subscribe and follow to the channels you are watching on at the moment. Now don't forget, we do have 3 races to bring to you this evening, and between each race we will switch back to the thumbnail screen, as we call it, and that will just give myself a few minutes to regain composure before the next race, and not only that, give you guys a little bit of a break as well before we jump into each race. But they don't take too long at all, as we just breach into 4th minute of the 15 for qualifying. Coming on towards your last 10 now. Here we go. So Lee Horn, a man that was in amongst all the battles last week out, and everywhere we looked, Lee Horn was involved, and is currently leading the way at the moment in the next gen racing livery there. One of the liveries that does stick out amongst the grid, with the golden rear end of that car, golden alloys in the wheels as well. You can see really getting the back end out there through turn 1. As always, track map is up for you in the top right hand corner, just underneath our sponsors as well, so you can see rotating through there are the sponsors for this series and for next gen as well in general, so please do go and check those out. As you can see here, Lee Horn has now dropped down to P3. Kieran Sharp has taken the lead, and Kieran Sharp is actually just a bit further down the track from Lee Horn's on track position. Number 23 on your screen now, Kieran Sharp. He is your leader for this race, and number 13 going around, and that is Jamie Dory, having a bit of a bounce up there on the sausage curbs. You can see all the cars really close together on the track in terms of times, and those times certainly won't be getting any further apart, because these cars are so equally based. There's nothing really to split these drivers apart from driver skill. Think about the Ford Legends as well. Lovely cars. Obviously, they were the car that the home built modified stock car variant that did dominate NASCAR racing back in the 1950s. Obviously, underneath the fiberglass coachwork lives a thoroughly modern, high-tech, fully adjustable tube frame race car. The information I have here in front of me. This is also the car that they use for those racing and learning the oval trade and the NASCAR racing. So this is actually one of the trainer cars. The bodywork based on its fiberglass bodywork, based on the 1934 Ford Coupe. Most people know it as the modern day term as a hot rod shape, and it is a very distinct shape of that as well. Now the weight of these cars as well is 1,100 pounds, so they're not the they're sort of like the middle ground in terms of the weight of the race car itself. Obviously there is other variants to this car as well. You can get the rookie version, standard, or you can get the Dirt's Legends version as well. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, while qualifying is going ahead, obviously today we are at Catalunya, but on the 25th of June we head over to the US of A, and we head to Sebring for the race on the 2nd of July, where we go to the German track, and let's see if I can butcher this one. Is it Oschersleben? B course. There you go. That was my best attempt at it anyway, but we are heading off to Germany for that before we round off the season in Italy. We head to Mugello Short on the 9th of July, so not a lot of time for these races, but there's plenty of races each night, so it does sort of add up to it and equate out, but quality time for these guys to get behind the wheel of some fun race cars and really throw it around the each and every course we visit this season. So you see Nick Clevens here, number 13, P5 overall. And Bennett sitting in a nice position here. And we don't need can say that we are now heading into the 11th minute of 15 as well, so this is now the crunch time of the qualifying session. And this is what it comes down to, but there's not much between the top two. Lee Horn being in P2 at the minute, just behind Kieran Sharp, who does lead the way after a dominant performance earlier last week. And speaking of which, and dominant performance, Lee Horn dominates that part of the track because no one else has been out that way, because that is the wrong section of the course. He's heading on the full course there by the looks of things. Isaac Doble sitting in P3 as well. Both cars within a tenth of the leader. See, bumping up on the inside curb, number 65 there. There goes 65 racing into the pits. But the brakes get slammed on, slowed right down just before entering. Number 36, Lee Horn, still going around. This time on the right part of the circuit. You can see on the track map there exactly where Lee Horn is currently. Heading into the final few turns of this lap. You can see Kieran Sharp has just gone quicker with a 123.773. So a tenth and a quarter splits the two cars of Kieran Sharp and Lee Horn. Battle for P1 for that provisional pole at the minute that Kieran Sharp does hold. All cars are fairly close together as well, and no doubt that'll be how it is the whole day. Oh, don't forget, when the race does kick off, which will be in a few minutes' time, if you get confused on what car we are focusing on, you'll see in the bottom left corner, you have the driver name, the Horn, as an example here on screen, the car number 36, which is published on the side of the car and next to their driver's name. You've got the flag of the driver, and some of them include their team names as well, which you can see highlighted the bottom part. But the car of choice is put up on the bottom left corner of your screen, so you can really figure out who we are focusing on and who we're talking about while these cars are in massive battles, because it's not a rare thing to see these guys go 3 to 4 wide into turn 1, which we did see a couple of times out last round on the first one of the season. It was the second race, so on the opening night, second race, things got a little bit heated and we saw cars going 2, 3 wide, sometimes even 4 wide as the race did go on. They have a tendency to spread out, and then all of a sudden everyone bunches up nice and closely together. Number 11, Sam Bradley, a newcomer, taken to the Legends action here this evening as we go into the last 10 seconds of the qualifying. Looks like Kieran Sharp is going to take that P1 podium spot for race 1, and he's going to be leading that pack. We do hit that checkered flag. These cars now all coming across the line, finishing off their session. We'll bring you your results as well. Ready for the action yet to come in the first race. Just waiting for the last few drivers to cross the line and finish their laps. Let's see if Ben Altria can get a better lap time. He can't. He's gone straight into the pits and not done another lap time. Nice little burnout there just before he enters. P7 Alan Kane has stopped where he is. Matthew Cheverton going across the line now. Does he improve from P13? Doesn't look like he's going to do so, unfortunately. Number 6, P16 as well, Sam Bradley, that we were following along with just a few moments ago. Now that is everyone across the line, so I'll bring you your grid here in just a few moments. Richard Simner, welcome into the YouTube chat, sir. Good luck, Mr. Pollard. I'm sure he's very appreciative of those words. As we just wait a few moments for the grid results to pop up, and we'll bring those to you. Get ready for the action yet to come. But don't forget, if you want to obviously get involved, you can do so. Reach out to the NXTGEN team. Fantastic group of guys, and more than happy to help you with whatever you need. Get you all sorted and ready to go. Results are filtering through now, and here is your grid. So Kieran Sharp does lead the way. Leithorn P2, Isaac Doble P3, Mikey Pollard P4, Jamie Dory P5, Adam Locke P6, Alan McCain P7, Nick Clibbens P8, Duncan Murray P9, Ben Altria P10, Adam Delmont P11, Ian Manners in P12 there. And scrolling through the grid, we have Matthew Cheverton P13, Daniel Fritz P14, Josh Brown P15, Sam Bradley P16, and we've got Jonathan Collins P17 and Craig Tillotson P18. And obviously, don't forget, we do have the safety car and race director with us here this evening for our live action to keep all the cars in check and ready to rumble. We'll bring up your track map straight away with your battle box as well, as these guys will be starting towards the back end of the track. Alan Luth, welcome in. Good luck, Mr. Manners. Once again, I'm sure he's very appreciative of the kind words there. Just wait for the last couple of cars to make their way onto the course before we get our rolling start underway. Looks like we're just waiting on a couple of races. Jamie Dory and Adam Delmont, once those races have entered the grid, we'll be able to get your racing well off and underway. Some Ford Legends racing up and coming here any moment now. Underway for our rolling start. There is your leader, Kieran Sharp, number 23 on the outside line, and he'll be leading the pack. Now leading the way, Kieran Sharp. Question is, can he get that good start off and nail the start of this race to really give him that advantage? Here they come. Now the orders will be going out to the drivers to hold their positions. There they come rumbling through. Lights are up. And they are flooring it. We are underway with Kieran Sharp, number 23 on the inside line, 36 on the outside. That's Lee Horn, 65 just up behind. That's Isaac Doble. And Isaac Doble sitting right behind Kieran Sharp and trying to get that bit of bump draft down the start straight already. And up the inside line of Kieran Sharp does go the 65 of Isaac Doble. And no one spun there. That's a miracle how nothing has happened there between those guys, as Kieran Sharp does take the lead and maintains that as well. And Kieran Doble, Kieran Doble, sorry, that's completely wrong. Jamie Dory, don't know where I got that name from, bouncing off on the sausage curbs there. Now we did see that in qualifying as well. So Jamie Dory does have a thing for these sausage curbs around this course, and maybe it's just the judgment of the car in proportion to the track, as we have seen him clip some of those several times, and it's almost cost him there early in the race for number 13. There you go, number 13 battling with 013, which on paper is two number 13s. So, Jamie Dory and Nick Clibbens, both repping the same number, but one's got a 0 in at the front. As you can see, number 13 on the inside line. Jamie Dory maintaining that inside line and keeping the momentum through. Ben Altria trying to get involved as well. You can see him here in PA 504, just on the back of these three at the moment. Craig Tillotson not having the greatest of days, number 34 being off course at the moment. There you go, Daniel Fritz. Car number 31. Coming up behind Matthew Cheverton. Another person that's a newcomer, I believe. Didn't have Matthew last round out, to my knowledge. So this is the start of something new for Matthew there. For sitting currently in P14. Let's get that 390 in the spotlight. Lovely blue rear end there with the flames on the front as well. And this is the onboard view for Matthew at the moment. Staring down the red rear end of Josh Brown. Now Josh Brown up ahead representing Ireland. Number 4. With the Cars livery there. You can see the back end getting a little bit squirrely. Talking of Cars livery, there's another one. Alan McCain. With another Lightning McQueen. I guess we'll call it tribute. Jonathan Collins at the minute. Just up behind the rear end of Sam Bradley. The 1-2-3 goes up the inside line of the number 11 car. No defence really there for Sam, who's going to be going side by side and not in the correct line he really needs to defend this position as he's on the outside. Can he get any form of switchback? And looks towards it but doesn't have the speed to get up alongside, so the 1-2-3 does take the initiative and moves up into P10, so top 10 position at the moment. Car off course there, that's Mikey Pollard, unfortunately, number 73. He's dropped down to P12 overall, down 8 positions from the starting grid place. So not the best of outings for Mikey Pollard at the moment. As you've seen, that old wooden sort of livery giving it a bit of a nostalgia feel, really going back to the 1934 area where this bodywork is themed on. That era of racing and that era in the automotive industry. These were the golden shapes, and that was what everyone was going for back then. And Ian Manners at the minute up in the smoke of Sam Bradley's car there. It's being let off through the final chicane. Number 52, with probably the brightest rear of a car out there on the course this evening. Mix of that lime green and blue. Sim Magic on the back of that vehicle. Matthew Cheverton at the minute in amongst it with the Cars livery there. Number 4 on the inside, that's Josh Brown. And Josh Brown on the outside line, not able to do any sort of defensive work against Matthew. Can he look for that cutback though? And those cars both drifting around there, and how number 4 has kept that in play, I don't know. Fantastic work there to keep that car facing in the right direction. As we look up towards Nick Clemens at the moment. And Nick Clemens up 2 positions. Jonathan Collins up 8 places as it stands right now. So top quality work there for Mr. Collins. Again, this is the battle of who is the real number 13. Nick Clemens and Jamie Dory fighting it out for the real number 13 number. Which one of them will get it? And as it stands at the minute, the advantage goes Jamie Dory's way. Let's have a little look at this man. P4 overall. Adam Locke, 555. The key thing about the 555 at the minute is he is the leader at the moment of his class. That class obviously being the Atoms. So Adam Locke does lead the way in that 555 car, but he does have Jamie Dory sniffing all around the rear of his car, and their bumpers are almost entwining there as they head down what I would class as the back straight of this Catalunya national circuit. Reports that Josh has had a little play date with the barrier, and unfortunately the front end of that car completely gone, and the front left suspension looks like it's been torn apart, as that wheel really is bouncing. He's struggling to keep that in a straight line, to be fair, and especially turning the corner as well. Look how much he's having to turn the wheel. You can see there on the inside of that car as we go to jump on board with him, taking it nice and slow to keep that car on the circuit and in its proper spot. And whilst he's getting on with that, Jamie Dory looking for a move up the inside line on the 555, and doesn't quite have his nose in front. They were corner to corner on the entry there, and 555 does very well to keep that car in line, Adam Locke, and maintains his position out just in front of Jamie Dory. So P4 still for Adam Locke as it stands at the moment, 4.5 seconds off the cars in front, and those are the top 3 podium spots. So if Jamie Dory wants to move up the field, he really does need to get this overtake done sooner rather than later. I'm not saying that Adam Locke is holding them up, but the more they battle, the further away they're getting. You can see the gap now 4.7 seconds up the road to that bottom step of the podium. So it is slipping away corner by corner. The more these two battle, the worse it's going to get. So they really do need to try and work something out here if possible, but at the end of the day they are racing drivers, so this could go right to the very wire. This could be a 20th minute overtake for Jamie Dory, but you never know. Relentless pressure at the minute for the number 13 on the 555 of Adam Locke. And you've got Nick Clibbens, the 013 car there in P6 overall, and he's lurking just on the background of this battle at the moment. So the gap does space out ever so slightly as Ian Manners looks to close up the gap with him at the moment, and Sam Bradley. And Sam Bradley seems to be a name that pops up in every battle so far this race. As you can see, Ian Manners looking to take his car up the outside, then switches to the inside line for the number 52. Now he does have that inside line. Is he going to go on the brakes a little later than Sam Bradley and try and get that position done in the first turn? He is going to do so indeed. Gets his car well and truly in front midway through that corner, and a nice exit there as well. So no back end spinning there for Ian Manners as he seals himself a P11 spot as it stands right now. But Adam Locke obviously up 2 positions. He is leading the way for his class, and Isaac Doble at the minute trying to put the fight on Lee Horn, and that was very close to that car being sent off course in spectacular fashion and lots of spins, I imagine. But Isaac has done very well to keep that car in shape and in check. And looks like number 11, Sam, has had a bit of an incident. Josh Brown and Sam have had a coming together. Let's have a little look at what has happened here then. There you go, Sam unfortunately loses the car just a little bit on the entrance there in the braking zone. Number 4 goes straight into the back, and sadly not facing the correct direction at the end of that. So that'll be number 4, Josh Brown. Sadly succumbing to the injuries of his vehicle there, and sitting off track for a moment or two. That's going to drop him down out of the race pretty much, unfortunately, because the speed of these runners towards the top of the table is fast and furious, that's for sure, at the moment. Duncan Wright under attack from 504 Ben Altria. Ben Altria having the inside line. Can he make the most of it? He does so indeed at the moment, keeping his nose just in front. He's got to be careful because now he's going to be found on the outside line as the NASCAR livery of Duncan Wright on the inside. Number 33 will have the advantage this time round, and unfortunately he spun it on the inside line. That's not going to be ideal for Duncan, but he gets the car underway pretty quickly. I have to admit, it's quite impressive. Quite stunned how quickly he got that car going again. It was just a simple spin, but normally you see people take a few seconds. But just behind is Mikey Pollard, so he's going to be closing down that gap. 390, sorry, up the inside line there of the 212 Alan McCain. You see both cars into a drift. Alan McCain does very well to hold that. In fact, gets a bit squirrely all the way down that straightaway there. Loses the position, but manages to keep the car for now. P13 at the minute for Alan McCain, down 6 positions from that starting grid place onto the sausage curb into the final turn. That right-hander onto the start-finish straight. And here they come across the line there. Sam Bradley in amongst it with the number 31 of Daniel Fritz. Daniel Fritz just on the back end. And there's a flag you don't often see in these races. With Daniel Fritz, and he looks to take the inside line, and it's so far on the inside he's turned his Ford Legends into a lawnmower and cut across the grass there, unfortunately. That's not done him any favours in terms of that attack, and that's sent him a bit further down from Sam Bradley now. 1.6 seconds splits the two. And just behind him we do have Josh Brown, P16 overall. And we did see Josh Brown unfortunately getting caught up in an instant on this very corner he's coming up to now. And it was into the braking zone here that him and Sam Bradley had a coming together. Unfortunately, Sam Bradley losing the car as they came into that braking zone. Jamie Dory still put the pressure on the 555, and Adam Locke has done a fantastic job to keep that position locked down and not let anyone by. Jamie Dory's trying everything he possibly can to get past, and is it this time round he's going to get that job done? Number 13 does look up the inside line now. We'll come up to the pit exit, and just after that is when we start the first turn and into the braking zone. You see the cars kneeling down. Jamie Dory does get up into P4, but can the 555 keep his nose side by side to have the advantage into the next turn? He does just enough, as they are now side by side up in towards the back straight area, and unfortunately it looks like Adam Locke is going to lose 2 positions from that attack. So now Jamie Dory and Nick Livens have moved up, so the battle for the real number 13 is well and truly on, as they've both disposed of Adam Locke, and he's back down into P6, which is where he started on the grid at the start of this race for the 555. And we do have 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go of this race session here, and that'll be the first race of 3. So still plenty of time for these racers to get as many points as possible, and there's still plenty of points up for grabs as well. As you can see, Jamie Dory now having to do the defensive work in this group, and this is one of them groups that seems to be close together for the entire race. And Nick Clemens does lose a little bit of time there on the exit of that chicane. That did cost him ever so slightly. See the time between Jamie Dory and Nick Livens, 0.3 of a second, all that splits the two. But then again, that is the same all the way through the grid as well, as we see Matthew and Alan McCain battling it out. Alan McCain up the inside line and sticks the inside line. There goes the 2-1-2. Don't stick the back end out this time. Whenever Alan McCain knows he's on camera, he likes to show off a little bit, it seems, sticking out the old drifts in the Ford Legends, but then again it's hard not to. These cars are fantastic when they get the back end around, and it does look spectacular on camera as well. So that's definitely a screenshot or two, or photo or two opportunity for Alan McCain after this race, seeing him drift around a few of these corners, as he does take that position away from Matthew and moves up into P12. So he's now down only 5 positions, and that puts Matthew back to his starting grid position of P13. And then back up towards the top of the tower, Lee Horn still maintaining that P2 spot at the moment, but Isaac Doble just in behind, not too far away either. 1.3 tenths is all that's between the two. As you can see, number 3 heading towards the outside line. There is the exit of the pit, so turn 1 coming up any second. 65 on the outside, looks to turn in. I think he's wary that Lee Horn is on the inside, so you can see him second guessing himself when turning in just then. But does have the advantage going through on the inside line now. The 65 Isaac Doble unfortunately loses that privilege as the sheer momentum of Lee Horn pushes himself through, and number 36 does maintain that track position. Nick Clemens at the minute also trying to do that work and get that position of P4 and start chasing down them podium sitters, but they're quite far in the distance at the moment, still 4.7 seconds. I think that earlier battling really has cost them. There's Daniel Fritz here, P14. And I was wondering what had happened here, but it looks like Sam Bradley has had a little bit of a slip up on turn 1. And turn 1 has proven a little bit challenging for some of the racers out there this evening. As we see Alan McCain switching and swapping positions with the 1-2-3. 1-2-3 of Jonathan Collins. A dark green classic colour. And it really does give a classic feel from that Ford Legends car there. As you can see, he sends that car into a drift just behind Alan McCain's car's livery. And Alan McCain currently sitting P11. Ian Manners just up the road, that corner between the two. And Isaac Doble looking to take that position away from Lee Horn. And Doble is on the outside line. Can he do the same this time around? He goes for the inside again for turn 2. Unfortunately not going to get it. Lee Horn's momentum is just too strong through that sector, as he always manages to get that position back and push on up. We look towards the timing tower at the minute. There's still a couple of battles that are within of each other. You see between these two though, Isaac Doble still trying to chase down Lee Horn, but Lee Horn not budging at all, putting up some fantastic defensive work and some great speed in that first sector. See the 36 still sits in front of Isaac Doble, number 65. You can see Isaac wants that inside line, but it's not going to have it. This man here that is in the focus, Lee Horn, does hold that inside line, and only just 65 is going to take that back from him though and hug that inside line. Now, can he get the momentum on top of Lee Horn? Lee Horn's normally on the line of the 65, and look, Isaac Doble found that momentum, has used it against Lee Horn and taken that position away from him. So those two have switched around now. And I think we've just seen the optimal line there, because you can really see the power difference in getting the speed down in that sector. Car just spun around there on that corner, but managed to hold himself still, so hasn't affected the battle for the lead too much. Jamie Dory still P4, but plenty of a gap between him and Nick Clemens. It looks like we've possibly just lost Isaac Doble. And there we go, Isaac Doble is still on track, but looks like we lost him momentarily. And he's dropped down from his fight with Lee Horn in P2 to now down to P6. So possibly some technical difficulties there for Isaac. Falling down the grid, disappeared from our screens momentarily. I believe these cars now are going to be on their last lap, because as you can see we've gone through the 20 minutes. So 15 laps altogether for the 20 minutes. And then 16 at a push if the leader's in the right position. Speaking of your leader, Kieran Sharp, been absolutely dominant in the first 3 races this season on round 1. And round 2 here, heat 1, is once again going to be the dominant force. There he is, number 23, in full focus. Coming towards the start-finish straight. And across the line is your race winner, Kieran Sharp. Very dominant performance for him. And Lee Horn looks like he's going to be the one easily taking P2. Unknown what happened to Isaac there, but Jamie Dory manages to get on the podium. Nick Clemens just in behind him as well, just missing out on that podium spot. Adam Locke done a fantastic job there in P5. Great defensive work earlier this race as well. As we just wait for the remainder of the cars to make it across start finish line. We will then bring you your results before we jump to a short break, where we will just take a few minutes before we get the second race up and running for you, ready to go for this evening. There goes final car across the line there. Correction, Adam Delmont, here he is. There he goes across the line for Mr. Delmont. Now what we'll do is we'll just wait for your results to rock through. And here they are. So Kieran Sharp, dominant performance, 9.6 second lead as he came across the line. So P1 for Kieran Sharp, Lee Horn P2, Jamie Dory P3, Nick Clibbens P4, Adam Locke P5, Isaac Doble P6, Mikey Pollard P7, Duncan Wright P8, and I've got Ben Altria P9, Ian Manners P10, Alan McCain P11, Jonathan Collins P12, Matthew Cheverton P13, Daniel Fritz P14, Sam Bradley P15, Josh Brown P16, Craig Tillotson P17 there, and then in P18 we do have Adam Delmont. So those are your results for the first race. Now what we're going to do, like I said, we're just going to switch to a momentary break, and that will give you a chance to get a drink, put your feet up, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes for your second race. So stay tuned, we'll see you again very, very shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and getting ready to rock and roll in just a few moments. The 10 minutes have lapsed. Alan Luth is back in, ready and raring to go. I'll bring you your grid results here in just a moment. Reverse grid of top 9. And speaking of, here it is. In fact, it's not what you can see on the screen. So what I've got on my listing here is Ben Ultra at P1, Duncan Murray P2, Mikey Pollard P3, Isaac Doble P4. Then we have Adam Locke P5, Nick Clemens P6, Jamie Dory P7, Lee Horn P8, P9 for Kieran Sharp, P10 for Ian Manners, Alan McCain P11, Matthew Cheverton P12, Daniel Fritz P13, and then we have P14 for Sam Bradley, P15 for Josh Brown, P16 for Craig Tillotson. So there is your starter man, Ben Ultra, 504. On the outside line of the first turn for the rolling start. And then next to him we do have the lovely Duncan Murray. Number 33 there. With the NASCAR livery. Livery that might be familiar to those of you that follow NASCAR on his racing journey on YouTube. Italian racer, having some fantastic experience, done these in real life and done some Euro NASCAR as well, and fantastic driver to watch as well. Some quality videos out there for him. But Duncan Murray repping that livery. Mikey Pollard just in behind as well with Isaac Doble. Isaac Doble having a great start to the first race, and then unfortunately had what we believe was technical difficulties at the end of that race there, which sent him down the pack just a little bit, and not the most ideal thing for him. Same as normal, track map is up, battle box is up, we are ready to go. Let's focus on your leader. Ben Ultra, P1. Lights are up and the cars are off. It's a great start for your leader at the moment then. He hasn't separated away from the pack, but he's gained a little bit of a gap as he does all going 2-2 into the first turn, and now is where the carnage happens. 2, 3 and 4 wide. As we see, 23 of Kieran Sharp there, P7, making contact with the 555, and 555 have spun around, and that's Adam Locke that's spun, and all cars livery gone around there. Adam Kane been hit big time with Daniel Fritz, those two coming together. And Ben Ultra, who started P1, facing the wrong way after connecting with the wall. You can see that car all over the place there on the front end of things. Bumped, twisted, and not facing the right direction after the end of that incident there with Ben Ultra. Jamie Dory putting the pressure on Mr. Sharp, but is it going to be enough? That's a tricky customer to get by, as Kieran Sharp has put in some dominant performances this season so far. Only a few rounds in, or a couple of rounds in, but plenty of races, and Jamie Dory now has that wonderful challenge of trying to take that position away. That's not going to be an easy job to do at all. Sam Bradley on the inside line, number 16. Unfortunately not side by side with the 52. We'll jump back up towards this area of the course. As you see, Duncan Murray on the inside line there of Kieran Sharp, sending Kieran Sharp around the outside, sending him around the long way, and the momentum advantage in Duncan Murray's hands. P3 at the moment. He's got that podium spot now. Can he hold it? That's going to be the question. Here's the man that is on an absolute comeback, and this will be interesting to watch him try and push his way up through the grid. Alan McCain and Ben Ultra are in the pits. Ben Ultra on the pit exit though at the moment. There he is now coming out of the pits as we speak. Looks like Alan McCain also doing the same. So after that quick repair job, they're straight back out on the course. Number 23 gaining on the number 33 just ahead. And Duncan Wright is your leader of the AMS at the moment. So he leads the way for his class as it stands right now. Number 33 there. For Goldwing Motorsport. Flying around the last chicane. With the monster, that is Kieran Sharp just in behind. Matthew Cheverton sneaking up onto the rear end of Josh Brown at the moment. Josh Brown, that number 4 car. Massive smiley face on the front, you can't miss it. And Kieran Sharp going around the outside line of Duncan Wright. Duncan Wright managing to hold that position though. And sticks it indeed. And you can see Matthew Cheverton has got in front of Josh Brown. Josh Brown now finds himself in a blue sandwich, because now he's got Adam Locke up right behind him as well. So blue car in front, blue car behind. Which is going to be your move, Josh Brown? Defending or attacking? And best form of defence is attack. So the racing driver mentality really does need to come out and prevail here for him to push his way through the pack. As we see the likes of Kieran Sharp once again getting close onto the rear end of Duncan Wright, and this is where Duncan's really got to pull something out of the bag here to defend up this start-finish straight. This is where Kieran nearly got him last time round. Let's jump on board with Kieran. Then you can see we are side by side at the moment. There's Duncan Wright's car now. Is he going to switch onto the inside? No, he's going to be held to the outside. There is the look for the switch. Doesn't quite get that move done, and Kieran Sharp does take that position away from Duncan. So that podium spot is now in the hands of Mr. Sharp, and he's now going to be pushing towards Mikey Pollard and Isaac Doble. So Mr. Pollard and Doble, this is your announcement to put your defences up. Get them ready, build the walls, because there is a barbarian attack coming your way from the number 23 up the back straight at the moment into the tight left-hander. Before we head on to probably the trickiest part of the course, in my opinion. It's whenever I'm racing around around here myself. Then again, I'm not exactly a Lewis Hamilton, but whenever I'm racing around this part of Catalunya, I always end up spinning out there on that corner. And the sausage curbs don't do these cars any justice either, them being little mini versions of Mount Everest on each corner. You hit them, your car goes flying for miles. As you see, Kieran Sharp really is closing up that time now, and same for Lee Horn, who is right on the back of Jamie Dory, number 13. And once again, the battle for the real 13 is on. 013 just in front, Nick Clivens, then Jamie Dory, number 13, then number 36, Lee Horn. The car focus right now then as we go into the first corner. See Josh Brown there still in the middle of his blue sandwich at the moment. Duncan Wright needs to be careful, losing the cars ahead, and that time is slowly creeping up to 1 second. So he does need to be very careful, because the cars up front are slipping away ever so slightly. Now Adam Locke trying to get that move done on Josh Brown. Millimetres between the two cars, the 555 there in the background of Adam Locke, and Josh Brown, number 4, in the car's livery just ahead in the red. So you can see they're both looking towards the inside line. Number 4 going for more of a defensive move there, Josh Brown on Adam Locke, and Adam is going to be forced around the outside. I don't think there's going to be much space up the inside line, but he's still going to look for it, and there's going to be corner to corner contact between the two, but Josh Brown does do well to hold that car steady as they go through the first turn. A little bit of bumping between the two cars. That is what the metal is there for on the front, just in front of the bumpers. Bit like the old stock cars. There's iron bars all around the car to not only protect the racer involved, but any contact between the two is minimalised in damage form, thanks to the mechanical background of these cars, with the bumpers and bars sticking out far enough away from the fiberglass bodywork that it doesn't get tampered with upon any form of collision. As you can see, Ben Altria possibly just having a bit of fun there on the start straight. So you can see him weaving left, right, left, right, left, right. See a bit of damage there on the front right of that car. A lot of scraping going on there. Adam Locke once more, not got the position done yet. P10 is in touching distance, so we are nearly halfway into this race as well. First grid of top 9 for this race as we came into it. Still not enough just yet for Adam Locke. He needs to be patient, keep building it up, and just as we're saying about being patient, Nick Clivens has waited all this time to get close enough to make a move, and we could be looking at this move coming up any moment now. 2/10 is all that splits the two cars of Nick Clivens and Duncan Murray, who's in P4 there, number 33 just ahead. That is your P4 man. Then P5 for Nick Clivens, 013. Jamie Dory, the real 13, in P6. And looks like Adam Locke and Josh Brown changing positions, but at the same time spinning each other out. As we see Sam Bradley take advantage. Adam Locke also goes through. It's unfortunate with the contact between those two. It's shaping up to be a nice battle, but then both managed to keep the cars going back underway. And just as they're going 3 wide into turn 1, Kieran Sharp also making his move. You see Kieran Sharp did go up the inside line there and looking to move up a position, but hasn't done so just yet. And the pack of 3 now go back into single file traffic. Did Kieran Sharp get that move done? He hasn't as of yet. So Nick Clivens still got time to try and get a move done. Just as we say that, Kieran Sharp once again closing up on the car ahead of Mikey Pollard. Now Mikey, this is the time that you need your defence. I did mention it a couple of laps ago. Have you got anything for that defence? What have you got in that magic hat of yours? And he pulls out a magical rabbit that sends Kieran Sharp off to the outside line and defends that position for now. Now 23 does have the inside line over the 73. 73 being Mikey Pollard. And unfortunately he concedes the position. Now can he look towards the inside line himself and get the offensive move done? He doesn't look towards the inside line. Nothing there for him anyway. So 23 does take that initiative and moves up into P2. 1.6 seconds off of your leader then, Kieran Sharp, at the moment. Now Lee Horn right up close behind Nick Clivens as it stands right now. You can see the golden rear end of Lee Horn's car there in the lime green sandwich is what I'm going to call it. Nick Clivens just in front of him, Duncan Murray but just in behind. As you can see, Lee Horn looking to take the inside line there. Number 36 has now got himself up side by side. So no defensive move from Nick Clivens as of yet. Can he look for a switchback through turn 1, which has been the common move for a lot of these races so far? Nothing on for him. Lee Horn's momentum is just too much to handle. As you can see, he is now ploughing off into the distance. So a fantastic move there for Mr. Horn. As you can see, Adam Locke coming up with the inside line of Sam Bradley now. And Sam Bradley concedes a position on turn 1 as well. The 555 does move up into a top 10 position. Adam Locke now finding himself rounding off that top 10, but Sam Bradley isn't going to let him settle just yet. He's going to come back on the attack as well onto the back straight. That right-hander, very quick right-hander at that as well. As you can see, These cars, they really do need to be almost at top speed going around that corner, because anything less, and they're actually more likely to spin out, it seems, as the 555 does hold that P10 spot for now. Bradley hasn't got enough in the tank just yet to get any sort of move on him or any pressure on him. So Adam Locke is doing his job very well as it stands right now into the final couple of turns and the final chicane. Or that 555, holding out that P10, sealing out that top 10 position. This would be a crucial position in the likes of F1 as well. There's points up for grabs here, and Adam Locke's going to do everything he can to seal that out and claim those points. So Nick Clibbons there, 013 on the back end of Lee Horn. This is a view from Nick Clibbons. Nick Clibbons' car. You can see just in the mirror is Duncan Murray. You can see his wheel just below that roll bar there. And there he is, getting right up close to him in the braking zone. Number 33, you can pick out his number off his car, that's how close they are. Lee Horn just in front, that golden rear end, just in front of him, Jamie Dory as well. So the car's not too far away from each other as it stands right now. 3-4 tenths splits these two. We do have Matthew Cheverton, who's in position to Mr. Locke, who does push up into P9. So wonderful work there for Senor Locke. He was pushed past the 390, and Matthew now finds himself in that top 10 position, but still holding it out against Sam Bradley, who's still lurking there waiting for an attack. Has he got enough speed and momentum and time in this course to get any closer to the cars in front? Here is then the Barbarian Force, as I'm now going to start calling him, Kieran Sharp. Absolutely mowed his way through the grids. You can see he's up 7 positions currently. Could be 8 positions if he can get past Isaac Doble, but he's 1.2 seconds up the road. And the time does fluctuate quite a bit, but it is going down ever so slightly. You can see that was your leader just in front, Isaac Doble having the blue car there. This is a view from the rear window of Isaac Doble's car. You can see Kieran Sharp lurking like a shark just in the background, being all menacing, waiting for the perfect time to strike, bit like a cobra in the waiting. You can see that time has now got down just under a second as well as we head down the start-finish straight, and that time is coming down between the two, nearly 9 tenths flat now. 15 minutes and 40 seconds gone out of the 20. Kieran Sharp has left it down to Fergie time to get this move done by the looks of things. As we go through turn 1 for another lap. Now let's do the exact opposite of what we just done there. This is Kieran Sharp's point of view. There is your leader just ahead. Isaac Doble, that light blue, dark blue mix rear end of that Ford Legends. Onto a bit of a drifter there for Kieran Sharp, and Kieran, don't let the cameras get to you. Keep your foot down. You see, each time is starting to come down now. 8 tenths between the two racers. There is your gap displayed for you on screen. Not a lot between it when you think there's 9 tenths of a second between these two cars. There's not much between those two at all. Jamie Dory having a slowdown and conceded a couple of positions down into P6. And just as we switch away, Kieran Sharp has really closed up that time. 2 tenths of a second is all that splits the two. Well, this is what it will come down to, these next couple of laps. This is going to be crucial for Kieran Sharp to try and get the lead done. He's right on the rear end, and 65 does do that defensive work, and good work it is at that as well. Now, there you go. You've got to make sure you get that momentous line, which seems to be a wide exit there through that turn 3. As you can see, Kieran Sharp going up on the outside line, heading up towards turn 5 and 6. And he does have the outside for turn 5. Looks for the cutback, tries to get himself on the inside, but he's actually just going to find himself right up on the rear end of Isaac Doble. Now, what can Isaac do to defend? 2 minutes of defensive work needed for Isaac Doble to bring this win home. As you can see, Kieran Sharp getting the back end out. Maybe that's a bit of style points while chasing the leader. And almost just to intimidate him as well. Maybe a false sense of security. As you can see, Kieran's back end getting a bit squirrely. Maybe that'll give Isaac some false hope. And think he can come away with this win when Kieran Sharp is actually going to annihilate on this start straight, because this is where we're seeing his power really display here. As you can see, not even a tenth of a second split the two cars. Is Kieran Sharp going to look towards the outside line here? He is indeed. They're going to be up side by side now. 65 on the inside of Isaac Doble, 23 on the outside of Kieran Sharp. Who's going to get the momentum out of turn 1? It's going to go in a lot hotter to the corner for Kieran Sharp. Going to be forced wide by the 65 of Isaac Doble there. Nearly contact between the two. But in fact, they do stay as they once were. 65 is out in front. P1 at the moment. 23 of Kieran Sharp and P2. But 1.5 tenths split the two cars at the moment. Nothing much between the two. You can just about fit Pringles can probably between the two cars. That's the only thing that really springs to mind between these two cars. And at the moment, Kieran Sharp looking towards the outside line once again into turn 5. Once more, looks for that switchback onto the inside line. He's got himself there. Now side by side. 65 is going to have that momentum advantage on the inside line. And he holds that inside line very well, in fact, as well. As 23 does have to sit towards the outside, and unfortunately it's going to cost him a little bit of time. So Isaac Doble doing just enough at the minute. Last 30 seconds of defensive work, then he knows he's on the last lap. So this is what it all comes down to. Isaac, try and calm your nerves if you can, but it's going to be all hammer and tongs now. It's going to be foot to the floor and a dart for the finish. As you see, the leaders do come across the line. We are going to have one more lap. This will be the white flag lap, I believe, because we've now crossed into the 20-minute mark. Can Kieran Sharp get the move done? He goes towards the outside once more. 23 on the outside, on the right-hand side of your screen. 65 on the inside. 65 of Isaac Doble does keep the car just ahead. And Kieran Sharp did take the lead momentarily around the outside of that corner. Remember, Isaac Doble is going to have the advantage of the momentum up the third turn. And 65 does pull out in front once more. Can he hold his car in that defensive position for the last few corners of the lap? 23 and 65, bumper to bumper now, up the back straight. Bit of bump drafting out of the exit of that corner there. Is that going to slow down Kieran Sharp's car at all? And 65 is now going to hold the inside line. Now this is a different position to what we're normally used to seeing. You can see 23 unfortunately had nowhere to go. 65 sat on the brakes on the corner there, holding Kieran Sharp off. Is that all he needs to do now to win this race? Is that going to bring the win home for Isaac Doble? We'll find out in a few moments. A couple of corners left to go. As you can see, Isaac Doble doing everything he possibly can to keep Kieran Sharp at bay, and Kieran Sharp, a dominant force in this series, but has his dominance run out here? Question is it going to come down to the final straight? That's where he's going to look to get his run. He goes to wide on the outside, tries to swing it back in, but he's not going to have enough momentum to pull out in front. And they're still going to be side by side up the start finish. And it looks like Isaac Doble is going to come across the line in P1. He's done it with just under a tenth of a second between him and Kieran Sharp. So Kieran Sharp did come across in P2 there, unfortunately. Not quite enough for Mr. Sharp's dominance to reign on for a second race this evening. But fantastic display there from the two cars. So quality racing out there for them. See Josh Brown now coming across the line as well. P12 for him at the moment. And Daniel Fritz as well. Car number 31 having a bit of front end damage there. Looks like possibly a bit of connection with the wall, because a connection with another car certainly won't do that length of damage. As you see, Alan Kane 212 coming into the final few corners as well. But what a battle we just had between Isaac Doble and Kieran Sharp. If you enjoyed that battle and you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to drop some likes on the streams. No matter what platform you're watching on, Facebook or YouTube, please do share the love, share the stream out, follow, subscribe, like, do whatever you possibly can. It all means the world to the team. As these Ford Legends do wrap up a second race of the evening. One more race left to go, as Alan McCain does cross the line now there indeed. And what we'll do is we'll just wait for the results to filter through. And I believe they've already come through now. So I'll bring those up for you here in just one moment before we then cut to another break for you. But here are your results coming up then. Isaac Doble did do enough to win the race, but not by much at all. Less than a tenth of a second between him and Kieran Sharp, whose dominance does run out. And it turns out Kieran Sharp is human after all, finishing in P2. Mikey Pollard P3, Jamie Dory P4, Lee Horn P5, Nick Clibbens. Congratulations to Nick on winning the AMS in P6 there. And then Duncan Murray P2 for the AMS, but P7 overall. Ian Manners P8, Adam Locke rounding off the podium sitters for the AMS in P9. And then Matthew Cheverton P10. Then we've got Sam Bradley P11, Josh Brown P12, Daniel Fritz P13, Alan McCain P14, Ben Ultria P15, Craig Tillotson P16. There are your cars for the second race. Now, third race will be coming up momentarily. Once again, we're going to go into a brief break. And once we are finished with that break, we'll bring you your third race this evening. But great defending there, says Mike Doble. That was some fantastic defending and some fantastic racing. Definitely going to go back and watch that because that was top-notch stuff. But we'll be back in just a few minutes to bring you your final race of the evening. So go put your feet up, get your drinks, go for your toilet breaks, and then we'll be back here very shortly for some more premium race coverage with the Ford Legends Cup. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the third and final time this evening. Racing here at Catalunya will be concluded. The third and final heat. Well, we're going to be treated to some fantastic racing once more. We'll bring the grid up again here in just a moment, and reverse grid of the top 9 once again, and once more it's there we go, showing up the right one this time. Adam Locke P1, Ian Manners P2, Duncan Murray P3, Nick Clemens P4, Lee Horn P5, Jamie Dory P6, Mikey Pollard P7, Kieran Sharp P8, Isaac Doble P9, and Matthew Cheverton P10, Sam Bradley P11, Josh Brown P12. Scrolling a bit further down, then we have Daniel Fritz P13, Alan McCain P14, Ben Altria P15, and then P16 for Adam Del Mont. So those are your starting cars and your starting positions. There are your cars on track. Battle box and track map are up. We'll get ready in just a few moments. There we go, the cars are off and underway. The rolling start has been initiated for the final time at the Catalunya National Circuit. Sunset in the lovely country of Spain, and for the final time this evening we will see Adam Locke locking horns with the rest of the grid. Leading the pack is the 555. Now let's see what happens on the start. Here they come across the line, where the lights will go up any moment now. They are up indeed, and they are off. Foot to the floor for all these races. The 555 does get off to a good start. 52 on the outside line. Ian Manners, though, doing a fantastic job to be side by side. Nick Clemens just in the background trying to make it 3 cars wide. 52 does have to stay awfully wide there. And who was that? I think that was possibly Alan McCain. In fact, no, it wasn't. I think it was possibly Lee Horn, in fact. Going a bit wide there on the first turn. Mikey Pollard riding the sausage cab up the inside there, and sits on the inside of number 13 Jamie Dory, who's on the outside line there in the pink and blue. And now we result to single file traffic. You see Isaac Doble chopping and changing in and out there with the car's livery going around the outside of him. That is Josh Brown. Josh Brown, car number 18 now, changed from car number 4 since the last race. He is plastered up in a different race number. Maybe there's a bit of superstition behind that, possibly. As you can see, Isaac Doble taking the fight to him on the outside line now, sticking the position at the moment. And then we have Matthew Cheverton just on the back of the 212. 212 of Alan McCain. Now the 2 cars liveries possibly going to battle it out. And who is the true Lightning McQueen? Now that is the question as we come up onto the start-finish straight. Jump on board with good old Alan McCain, seeing what's going on in the good old town of cars here as he looks towards the inside line. Lightning McQueen versus Lightning McQueen. Who's going to come out on top? Both the smiley faces go into the corner. A bit of a drift on there for the 18 of Josh Brown, and sticks the position back into single file traffic as Alan McCain does have to fall in behind the 212 there. Adam Locke still looking out the top spot for this race, but Duncan Murray is closing up fairly quickly to the car ahead of Nick Clemens, with the iRacing rear end there of that Ford Legends car. He's sitting on the inside line defending it from the 33 avoiding any moves, but at the same time he's gone on the attack and actually pushed up for the lead. That's pushed your current leader Adam Locke wide, and possibly cost him a little bit of time there, as that almost brings Duncan Murray into contention. But look, there he is, the Barbarian Raider, number 23, Kieran Sharp, once again trying to put on his dominance early doors. Now this time we don't have an Isaac Doble defending the front of the line. It's Adam Locke's turn. Now can Locke do just that? And unfortunately it looks like Kieran Sharp and Duncan Murray have had a bit of contact, and Murray has gone off course, and that was corner to corner contact between the two. No way Duncan was going to be able to save that, unfortunately, in that corner. So sadly he's now dropped out the fight for the top of the tower, as we look towards Kieran Sharp, and Kieran Sharp now has Jamie Dory right onto the background of his car there. As you can see, number 13, bit of a lock up for the inside of 23, and number 13 does come around onto the inside then of Kieran Sharp's car. Jamie Dory trying to get back onto him, having that momentum advantage. Look at that for a move. Slalom left and right, a fantastic move from Jamie Dory. Now find himself on the inside line of that 23 car there, gets the move and sticks his car right in front of him, so Kieran Sharp has nowhere to go but to sit in that single file traffic. So a fantastic move there for Jamie Dory. Best one of the race this far. Kieran Sharp does go up the inside, and he gets that position straight back again. So the fight is now back on for Jamie Dory to get that podium spot. And let's have a little look at where Mr. Isaac Doble is. He's just at the back of this pack at the moment. And this pack is being led at the moment by Kieran Sharp. He's not in the lead at the moment. He's 1.1 seconds off the two cars ahead. But a big lock-up for the 73 there of Mikey Pollard. That looked like a front-left lock-up there. That's going to put some heat into that tyre. Number 52 trying to hold off Mikey Pollard. Then you've got Isaac Doble just in the background there, 65, trying to stick that inside line. He's going to be side by side, so Mikey Pollard can't go fully over the course to defend, because they are going to be side by side heading towards turn 1. 3 cars wide this is going to be into turn 1 there. As you can see, 65 still got the inside, and wow, that's incredible. He's done the exact thing that I wouldn't have the nerve to do, Isaac Doble, and he's pushed up, turned it into a 3 car wide battle and gained 2 positions in 1 corner. Alan McCain going into the gravel there, going side by side with Duncan Murray, and unfortunately I think a bit of door to door, and it sent him into the gravel pit. And Mikey Pollard trying to get a move up the inside of the 52. Unfortunately doesn't have his nose up side by side into that corner, so unable to get the move done just yet. Lee Horn now trying to push up onto the back of the 13, Jamie Dory there, who still sits behind Kieran Sharp at the moment, but Kieran Sharp and Jamie Dory, they're equidistant at the moment to the gap between P2 and Kieran Sharp's front end. So all these cars running in single file or equidistant to each other, and fantastic work at the moment for Adam Locke, who's now down to P2, but he's still holding Kieran Sharp just behind him. Nick Clibbins with the lead, and he's doing a great job at the moment, half a second up from P2. Now the question is, can they work out between them how to keep Kieran Sharp behind them? That's going to be the trickiest part. With the dominant force of Kieran Sharp and the pace that we've seen, it's not going to be an easy job to do. So let's focus on Mr. Locke for a second and have a little look at what's going on at the back end of his car. There he is, Kieran Sharp there, right onto the back end, number 23, over the rumble strips there. This is the view just in front as well, so there's a bit of space in front but nothing behind. As you can see, Kieran Sharp swinging left to right, trying to make it unknown as to where he's going to go. He's going to go towards the outside line. In fact, he's going to have his nose in front into that turn on left-hander. 555 does do some defensive work on the inside line, manages to keep the 23 towards the outside. Kieran Sharp now is going to have the advantage up on the inside line. Is that going to bring the 13 Jamie Dory up as well? Unfortunately not. The gap is now going to close up, and that door's going to be shut by Adam Locke. And in fact, he's locked it and thrown away the key, as Jamie Dory now has to settle for single file traffic just in front of Lee Horn in P5. Now Kieran Sharp is in the P2 spot, so he's well and truly on the podium now. Adam Locke's now trying to seal out that podium spot from Jamie Dory, but again, another tricky customer to hold at bay, so Adam Locke certainly will have his hands full this race. We're only 7 minutes in as well, so still plenty of time left to go, just under 14 minutes, and you've got plenty of time yet Mr. Locke to seal off that podium spot, but Jamie Dory is not going to let that happen easily as he looks to go around the outside line of the 555 and possibly look for the switchback, as we've seen many times so far these races, but doesn't get anything done. Not quite close enough, unfortunately, and they carry on in single file fashion in the same positions they once were a few moments ago, as we look towards Jamie Dory, who is now creeping up onto the back of the 555 car. Heading towards Isaac Doble as well, just on the back of this pack, but we do have to be careful because Jamie Dory is looking to try and get that move done. He has got his nose temporarily in front, backs off ever so slightly. Lee Horn is now trying to come into play as well. So you see he's just bouncing off in the background there, and Jamie Doble does send his car up on the inside line there, and we lost him just for a moment, but he's back again, and unfortunately he didn't quite get the position done, so he's going to have to settle for single file once more. P4 at the moment. Adam Locke's doing just enough to keep in front of him in P3, the 555 car there, with the lime green wheels as they come into the final chicane around for another lap. That completes the first 8 minutes of racing out of the 20, so not long left to go. We're nearly at the halfway mark, and Adam Locke still has a lot of work to be done, but at the same time can't say it's going to be easy for Jamie Dory, because it certainly isn't. He's side by side at the minute, got his nose in front. The question is, can he hold it? Because he's going to have that inside line, so that means that Adam Locke can swing out a little bit and gain some momentum into turn one. Is he going to do that? No, he's going to hold it nice and tight to those cars on the inside, and Lee Horn somehow held the drift and manages to pretty much maintain his position, as the 555 there for Adam Locke unfortunately will back off ever so slightly, and Lee Horn is now right on the rear end of that car and looking to push up. This is the view from Lee Horn. There's a fantastic drift as well, by the way, for Mr. Horn, so top job to you as he looks towards the inside now of Adam Locke. Is Adam Locke focusing on attacking and not worrying too much about defending? Is this going to be a catastrophe as we head into the left-hander? No, it's not. They do still settle for single file. As you can see there, Kieran Sharp getting nice and close onto the back of Nick Clemens just at the top of the field. And still nothing really splits these guys as they go around the course. Number 36 stuck in the middle. Number 65, sorry, just in behind that, that's Isaac Doble, who's done a fantastic defensive job in race 2. And possibly we're about to see that kind of masterclass again from Nick Clemens. But let's see what happens as on to the straight. You can see the time really is coming down now between your leader and P2 of Kieran Sharp. That barbaric force of Kieran Sharp is something that's going to be trying to push through here, and it's not going to be an easy job to defend it. Looks towards the inside line, does the number 23. Does Kieran Sharp take the lead here? He does momentarily. Nose is in front, a tenth ahead now. Full car's length ahead as well into turn 1. Plenty of space between the two. 0-1-3 now in P2, 23 in P1. Kieran Sharp does take the lead of the race. Now, is that all done and history now? Is that a win towards Kieran Sharp's name? Can Nick Clemens keep the pressure on? That is going to be the question, and Nick Clemens does keep up onto the back of him. And what's going on here between Lee Horn as well, and they're going to be side by side, as you see Isaac Doble trying to come up onto the inside and turn that into a 3-wide battle, and they are going to be 3-wide in fact going into the next turn. Now this is going to be interesting. Who's later on the brakes out of these three? All of them on the brakes pretty much at the same time, and it's like the perfect symmetrical line there heading into the turn. Isaac having a bit of contact there with Mikey Pollard. Mikey Pollard does gain a position from it, but only momentarily, as 65 does have the inside line. Isaac Doble does get that position back and says thank you very much, I'm going to take that back from you and not have any remorse, and he does push up past Mikey Pollard after a little bit of contact between the two. 4 tenths between the front two cars at the moment then, just within the last 10 minutes of the race, in fact just under 9 to go, and Kieran Sharp does have the lead of this race. Now, is it all in his hand? It certainly looks that way at the moment. 3 tenths is all that splits the first two, so Nick Clemens isn't too far away from your leader, but he really does need to pull out some stellar corners to catch up your leader and take that lead away from him. As we look towards Jamie Dory, who's just in the background here of this battle. Now, can he sneak up onto Nick Clemens, who isn't unable to make the move as of yet, and possibly try and push his way to Kieran Sharp as well? But with not much time to go, it's not going to be easy for Jamie Dory. He's been amongst the battles already so far, and someone else that's been amongst the battles as well, Matthew Cheverton, 390 with the flames on the front of his blue car there, the Ford Legends. 390 going looking towards the inside of the 52 being Ian Manners, Now, can Ian do any sort of defensive work here? No, he's just going to let him bide. Does he look for the switchback? He has held it awfully tight inside line, and he keeps that momentum going, foot to the floor, and he does find himself side by side now, so he's done a very good job at keeping his car in amongst the battle and still side by side throughout that long right-hander, slightly uphill. Now into the final chicane. What's going to happen here? Surely we can't be side by side through this section as well. 52 does keep his nose up on the inside, doesn't let 390 move at all, and in fact the 390 and Matthew Cheverton does keep that position at the end of the chicane, and a little bit of wheel spin there and a bit of drifting towards the end of that corner. Now we cross over the line once more, near your 13th minute now, so 7 minutes left to go for these races. We're on lap 10, and we worked out we get about 15 to 16 laps of these legends within the 20 minutes, so about 5 to 6 laps left to go of action here this evening. As you can see, Ian and Matthew swap positions once more. 390 on the inside of Matthew Cheverton does keep the position and keep his car ahead. 52 now on the inside, taking the advantage, Ian Manners, and there's contact between the two, and Cheverton nearly collides with Manners there when he spun, but unfortunately, fortunately for him, there was no collection, and Ian Manners manages to carry on in P8, but there's a bit of front right fender damage for Matthew Cheverton. Doesn't look too performance based, it looks purely bodywork based, but then again, look at the angle of the wheel on the straight. He's holding that wheel at a heavy 45-degree angle there, as he's struggling to really make that left turn as well. You see the back end really does kick out there, and he's going to have his hands full a little bit, as I imagine we'll probably see Cheverton enter the pits for some repairs, unless he feels like he can eke it out for the rest of the race. Won't be an easy thing to do, but I wouldn't put it past him. As you see there, the 390 now does have the car number 4, Sam Bradley, just up behind him. He does enter the pits, and Sam Bradley does overtake and go by. So Sam Bradley moves up a spot. Ben Altria, someone we haven't spoken about too much, has just scored an overtake on Alan McCain, and Alan McCain going in really deep there into a drift, and unfortunately he's also let Duncan Murray past, who's had some earlier incidents in this race. Duncan Murray down 8 positions, Adam Delmont up 9 positions as an example, so some fantastic overtakes there for Adam Delmont, really taken to this race, it seems like a fish from water, and the 777 now chasing on to the back of Ian Manners. Ian Manners in amongst the battles so far as well. We just saw a ferocious battle involving Ian, and he was very lucky to come out of that unscathed as well, because it's very close to a collection from the contact between him and Matthew, and Matthew unfortunately went headfirst into the wall. It was nearly T-bone central there for Ian, but luckily he escaped without a single scrape on that vehicle. So it's worked out heavily in his favour this evening. See the car of Jamie Dory now almost side by side with Nick Clibbens. This is the battle for P2, and second away from the leader. This is going to seem to be all that the fight is going to be for, as well as the time does come down ever so slightly. Number 013 into a drift there, and the real 13 comes through. Jamie Dory pushes up into P2. Unfortunately, that drift by Nick Clibbens did look amazing, but performance wise it was terrible, because that is the slowest way to go through a corner, and unfortunately that has cost him dearly. Ian Manners not on the course. Number 52 facing the wrong way, but gets it back underway again, straight back onto the course. P12 at the moment, plenty of space between P12 and P13. Adam Delmont in front of this group of cars now, going through the pack here. Got Ben Altria just in behind, and Duncan Murray, and then Alan McCain as well in the cars livery just in the background there. And going up to Adam Locke. Now, we thought he might lock down that top spot, but the 555 does now find himself in P7. 73 just ahead Mikey Pollard, and Mikey Pollard up 1 position from his starting grid position. We're now heading in towards the 17th minute this time around, so only a couple of minutes left to go of racing before we see the white flag for the penultimate, or for the final lap, sorry. I think the win is going to fall into Kieran Sharp's hands once more. So 2 out of 3 races tonight, and unfortunately it's not going to be a 3 out of 3 thanks to this man here on your screen. Isaac Doble having a fantastic defensive performance last round out, and managed to keep him at bay in the double blue livery there. Number 65's had some good races this evening as well. A fantastic display. You see Adam Delmont still in front of that group, but not by much. As you can see, they are now all bunching up together, and Ben Altria 504 right onto the back end. Now Duncan Wright also being brought into it, and not too far away is Alan McCain. So any form of slip up or mistake from any of these cars, and it's going to prove to be worst case scenario for them, as they could get absolutely swamped by those cars literally just in behind, all of a second behind those as well. The 777 does still stay on the outside line, not showing any defence, but there's no attacks coming in either, as Alan McCain and Duncan Wright, the only car side by side in there, and Duncan Wright does take the initiative and Six's car in front. Those two are back into single file traffic now as well. So we are now back to the same pack of four we did have just a few moments ago. Kieran Sharp leading the race by 1.3 seconds now. Plenty of time for him. Just under 2 minutes left to go in this race. Not long for him to do all the work he needs to really to pull off maximum points here, and at the moment it's going his way for the points. But nearly 1.4 seconds now to Jamie Dory. He is gaining away from cars on the straights, so his exits out of the corners there on the back straight and on the home straight are proving an absolute must really for his rating, and it really is showing out there on track as well, with the time slowly creeping up on the back straight. And it looks like we have a car extremely wide there. It's Duncan Murray who went awfully wide into turn 1. And he was that far wide, we couldn't even catch him on camera. So you see Ben Altria up the road trying to take on Adam Delmont, but Delmont is not an easy car to get by. He knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a TCR, and he certainly knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a Ford Legends series car as well. As you can see, these things look absolutely magnificent going around here in the sunset of Spain this evening, as your leader comes up into the final chicane now of this lap. And there'll be one more lap to go for these races, so that'll be white flag this time round. And I will show you here, this is your view for P2. Jamie Dory at the minute on board with him, coming across the line now. This will be the last lap of the session. Can Jamie Dory close that gap? 1.3 seconds, it's stuck around that for the last sort of 5-ish minutes now, so it's looking unlikely, but we're not going to write him off just yet. You should never write off a racing driver. Anything could happen at any point. Ben Altria at the moment trying to make things happen against Alan McCain. Alan McCain on the inside line, and sticks towards the inside line, almost gets cut back on by the 504. In fact does, as he bursts into a drift on the exit of the corner there, but manages to keep the 212 just in front. 504 having to settle for single file traffic, sitting in P10 at the moment, but he's got to be careful because Duncan Murray is now going to come up on the inside line with the momentum advantage and take that top 10 position away, and he does have his nose in front, and in fact his whole car is now in front. P10 overall for Duncan Murray. As you can see, these two now in close single file action. And number 33 does hold the inside line. 504 looks to get up to the inside, doesn't do it. And there's contact between Duncan Murray and Alan McCain right on the final few corners. Those two have made contact, and that is the battle for the top 10 basically written and thrown away. And here comes your race winner for the third race. Swerving left to right, Kieran Sharp, the dominant force, through once more. And Jamie Dory having a fantastic race there as well. Nick Clibbens just pulling off a P3 in front of Lee Horn and Isaac Doble. Not much between those at all. And it seemed like that 20 minutes absolutely flew by. Didn't feel like we've been sitting here that long at all. So that race on the edge of your seat stuff, as always, that we see in these Legends. And we do have some more fantastic action yet to come. There's still plenty of rounds this season yet to go as well. Just while we wait for the last couple of cars to come across the line, there's one, and we're just waiting on Matthew Cheverton. And just while we wait on him, remember next week, 25th of June, we head out towards Sebring in the USA, and then 2nd of July we go to the Oschersleben B course And on the 9th of July, the final round, we're heading to the Mugello Short. But there are all your races across the line. And we'll bring you your results here in just a moment. And there they are. So Kieran Sharp did finish P1, Jamie Dory P2, Nick Clibbens P3, but he won the AMS from P3 overall as well. Lee Horn P4, Isaac Doble P5, Mikey Pollard P6, Adam Locke P2 in the AMS at P7 overall, Adam Delmont P8, and then Ben Altria gets that final podium spot in P9. And Ian Manners P10, Duncan Rye P11, Alan McCain P12, Sam Bradley P13, Matthew Cheverton P14, Josh Brown P15, and Daniel Fritz P16. So those are your results for the final race of this evening. Now that does bring the racing to a conclusion there, and what a conclusion it was. Fantastic racing all night out for these guys as well, and we'll be bringing you some more next week. But once again, do remember to share the love, share out the stream, and do drop likes on it, and follow and subscribe on the channels that you're watching on. Once again, I appreciate you all sitting here live watching on a what is a very hot day here in the UK and in Spain, obviously at Catalunya and around the world. So I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and watch the action as it all unfolded here. But I hope you did all enjoy this racing session, and we look forward to bringing you much more like this in the future. Remember, the next few weeks we have some rounds coming up with some spectacular tracks, but we will see you in a week's time at Sebring. Thank you very much everyone for watching. We'll see you again soon, but for now, stay safe, keep practicing, and we'll see you on the track next week out.